DraftPhysics.com video presentation here on YouTube. Yeah, an update video. So just thought I'd do a little run through of what I remember of the week, plus a little maybe. I think a very good video was the first work, energy, force equals weight, momentum. You know, they're all the same thing. And it's really an important argument. A joule is a watt, is a pound, is a, it's a kilogram. That motion creates weight. And so you can move something this way and understand if I put a scale there, it'll hit it, it'll weigh something. Gravity's just doing the same thing. It's giving you weight. It's giving your mass weight by giving it real motion. You don't see the motion, but you actually are moving into the earth. The earth is pushing you back up. You don't see it, but it's an actual fact. And it's the way to understand what momentum is. It's the way to understand what energy is. It's the way to understand what work is. It's all just movement. The littlest, tiniest particle in the universe moves. It has energy. The biggest, monstrous thing in the universe moves. It has energy. It's all the same thing. It's just how much mass is moving and how fast is it moving. And that's all there is. There's no squaring, and there's no one halving, there's no other bullshit. All right. Then I did a Science Asylum video on the same subject, just again pointing out that they really don't. They think there's different kinds of energy. They think heat is a different kind of energy. They think the energy inside of chemistry is a different kind of energy. No, it isn't. It just has to do with the pressure of the electrons. Different atoms have a different amount of pressure, and they can release that pressure, free it, easier or harder. It's hard to get the pressure out of tungsten. It's really easy to get the pressure out of carbon, that kind of thing. All right. Then the subject was changed a bit to gravity. Jim Al-Kahili guy, and just ways of measuring gravity. And the problem is that there is a difference between falling straight into something, and being in orbit. And the fact is that we're always in orbit a little bit. So some of our weight is displaced by the fact that we are actually in orbit. So technically, if you could do the experiment not on a spinning Earth, our gravity would be different, because we wouldn't be evading some of the gravitational effect by actually having a velocity against the gravity, perpendicular to the gravity. Yeah, it does get into that. I mean, it doesn't directly get into it, but that's the subject, essentially. Then the other video was junk physics. Yeah, I can't remember what that was. But clearly, just has again to do with obviously the kinetic energy thing is in the icon, so it was probably more stuff about that. Then came the Veritasium video, where Veritasium is making the assertion that it's not the electricity in the wire that's transporting the energy. Somehow the energy is being transported in field changes, and it really isn't. The field changes just happen to be a byproduct of moving the energy, and the byproduct can be captured, but it has to be captured with the right instrumentality, where you could argue the lightning bolt hitting you doesn't need any instrumentality. It doesn't need any way to convey its energy. It's quite direct. It's not indirect. So subtle difference. Profiles in pseudo. So I did Veritasium, did a number of his videos, just pointing out how much they're all crap. And I didn't even include the famous photon one, where he did the single photon experiment and cheated the hell out of it, by turning the sensitivity of the photomultiplier way up to be able to get any kind of pattern at all. So he couldn't get the experiment to work doing it the way you're supposed to do it, which is single photons, or you're supposed to wait. You're supposed to create an environment where you're quite sure the photons can't be in the experiment at the same time. And any shortening of the distance and time that you're doing the experiment is clearly going to distort the possibility. The first guy who did the experiment over a month. Okay, Veritasium did it in 5 minutes. I'd say those are very different experiments. But anyway, today's video was a response to a response video to the Veritasium video and a comment by Brozo. And so it ended up being on the subject of polarization, light polarization and radar polarization. And I just point out how they are fundamentally different things. One is group behavior. The radar signal is a group of radar photons that you can depolarize, make non-coherent to each other, break. And the other is light photons, which don't care about the group behavior thing, and you can see the individual photons make the signal. So in one case you can only understand the existence of the pattern by the entire field making the pattern. All the photons have to be doing the same thing. In the other case, light, all the lights don't have to be doing the same thing. They just have to be not broken photons. So in one case you're breaking the individual photons, in the other case you're breaking the pattern created by the group of photons. Two different things. Must be understood. The filters aren't working the same way. They're not being applied to the same aspect of the phenomenon. One's changing a group behavior, one's changing individual behavior. Very different. Important distinction. And you'll only hear that here. Yeah, you're only going to get the truth here. Okay. Sometimes you'll get a mistake, but most of the time you're going to get the truth where they're just talking shit. Saying the same old shit. Because they really haven't gotten that physics has been broken for over 100 years by a bunch of voodoo, religious hokum pokum, wave theories. It's patterns, not waves. Patterns. The universe runs on patterns, not waves. Okay, so yes, that's enough. Good videos all, and underappreciated, I would say, for certain. A lot of good science in here, and but human race being what it is, it probably won't figure it out for 100 years. You really do have to shove the dildo way up their ass for them to take notice of anything. They're so fucking stupid, humans. So stupid. Belligerently stupid. Belligerently religious. Uh-oh. Oh, it's 8 minutes. Okay. I was like, what the fuck? 8 seconds? The video better be longer than that. Alright, anyway. So that'd be enough. So till the next time and such. Remember, Google is evil. That's why I have to make videos not on Google, is somebody has to do the right thing. Somebody has to be honorable and recognize that Google is an evil monster controlling what we see on the internet. It feeds every one of us a different internet. We all don't see the same internet. We don't get to go to the same library. They move all the books. When I go to the library, the books are all put in one order. When you go to the library, the books are on all different shelves all over the place. It's a bullshit internet they're giving us. And you should find it damn offensive that we live in a civilization that ain't smart enough to say, no, we all should be going to the same fucking library. Alright. So, this has been a DraftPhysics.com video presentation to the fucking wind. Because there just ain't no human life, okay, that's got the brains to receive intelligent signals.